What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with Tesla, SPY, and a couple of other tickers, and break down what's going on with the shareholder meeting of Tesla that's coming out very soon, and some very important levels to be watching for as time progresses. But before I break the details information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Weeble link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Weeble and deposit $500, you guarantee 20 free stocks and our friends very soon in just 6 days. Anyways, for SPY, I just wanted to mention right now we have this resistance around 542.3 to 542.5. It's kind of like our resistance range right here. If we had broken that, we'd be going all the way up towards this imbalance around 543, which is where the high of the day was. Once we open from open, not during the pre-market, and then breaking that would take us all the way up to about 544 to the all-time high. Our support is currently at 542 as well. Losing this opens the doors for basically we first have our 20 EMA over here, then we have 540.91 as the 50 EMA, and losing that opens for the doors for 540. So we have lots of very tight levels right over here. If we lose 540, SPY is going to be dipping all the way down to 537 to fill the gap, but we haven't officially gotten a big break of it. We did temporarily lose this only to get bought back up. So overall, we have these tight supports on SPY right now. It is still holding up decently, but I just want to make it very clear that there are important things to note about the gaps it has. So if we go back to the daily time frame like this, you will notice that SPY has this gap to fill. So all the way over here, if we were to lose 540. Okay, right here. We need to hold below this, get a 4-hour close below this, in my opinion. Then I think that we'd come down to fill the gap at 537. Today, we temporarily got a little fake out. We kind of dipped and then got bought back up. But overall, the candles are still red and it is showing some weakness. We've been range bound between 544 and 540 for almost the entire day. This is what I predicted would happen, but there is still a risk of downside if we lose 540, so keep that in the back of your mind. For me to turn back to bullish, I want to see SPY basically break past 544, the all-time high. Then yes, we could be pushing up higher, but so far we haven't done that, and the risk is still once again favoring downside. For something else that's worth noting, tomorrow we have some Michigan consumer sentiment data all after the market opens, so I'll be talking more about that. And we also have the Tesla annual stockholder meeting today at 3:30 p.m. We'll see what happens with this. This is going to be very important for Tesla. Can't wait to see what they end up announcing. It's going to be very exciting. This is going to be key for how things end up moving. Now, going back to Tesla, I just wanted to say that Tesla is in a very, very critical place. We have a gap to fill. If we were to lose 182, we'd likely end up seeing a sell-off on Tesla to fill the gap. And then that would lead to Tesla dipping all the way down to about 178. So if we lose 182, look for 178. And then our resistance is at 185.4. If we were to break this, we'll be looking for a move back up to 188. Tesla's been range bound for the entire day, going back and forth between 185 and 183. We're going to likely continue to do so, and then we'll see a very, very big reaction once the shareholder meeting starts. So if we get a negative reaction, we could come down to fill the gap towards 178. If we get a positive one, this could start flying back up to the highs in the 190s and eventually start to break out. Now, let me just call out that even if we do see a little move to the downside, when you look at the 4-hour time frame of Tesla, we are still bullish overall. We still have a very, very nice looking double bottom structure right over here. If we were to dip down here and then bounce, that's very possible. We could even get a revisit of this 200 area. That is still very possible too. But we'll be watching to see if we get an initial drop first before we try to bounce or not. That's going to be very, very important for Tesla. Now for Nvidia, Nvidia is looking bullish for now, but just be careful because we have some very, very tough resistance around that 130 area. If we were to break 130, yes, we could be pushing up to like 132 and higher levels up there. If we end up projecting, we lose 129, I'll be looking at 128 as support. Losing this support would open the doors for this 126.8 area. Losing that opens the doors for 125, the 125 flat area all the way down here. So I'll be looking for this gap to get filled if we were to lose this support. Otherwise, we're just kind of stuck in trading a little sideways, at least for Nvidia. It's been pushing, it is holding up well, but there is sideways price action near 128 and 130 to be watching for. So we'll have to see how Nvidia kind of reacts right over here. That's going to be pivotal for how we end up moving. So we'll be very patient, at least moving forward. For the QQQ, this pushed all the way up to about 479, and now we're starting to reject a bit. We're actually still at 476. This is looking weaker than SPY to me, but I'll be looking at these key supports. If we end up losing support at 476, basically, we do have this gap to fill all the way down towards the 474s. And if we end up losing this support right here, I'll look at 472. Losing this opens the doors for this gap fill down here to 468. So watch those supports: 468, 472, and 474, not to mention 476. So quite a few supports on the QQQ. A resistance around basically close to 480. The closer we get to it, the tougher it's going to be. 478 and then 480 are going to be resistance levels. The QQQ is kind of shuffling right now, but there's a risk of it dipping lower if we end up losing support. So just be careful with this. SPY is still holding up decently. Looking at Aapl, we're just kind of trading sideways within a range. We have support around 212.5, and we have resistance around 215. It's been stuck between this range for almost the entire day. So just wait and see. It's going to likely rebound a bit before it tries to continue lower. We're still range bound. We have to see which way we break. If we break 215, we could push more. If we lose 212, we could drop. I'm still in the middle with Aapl, so give it some time. For Coinbase, Coinbase is actually coming down a bit. We'll be watching our supports at 242. If we lose that, we'll be dipping lower all the way down to 237. If we hold that, we could rebound, but I'm seeing a weakness on the chart, so watch that support. Do we hold 242 or not? That's going to be key. Amazon showing some weakness. We're barely holding 183.76. If we hold this, we could rebound to about 185. If we lose 183.76, we'll be dipping all the way down towards 181.5. So I'm watching the support just to see if we hold or not. For Meta, we're also kind of dipping a bit. Watch 500 as support. If we were to rebound, make sure you watch 505 and 507 as resistance levels, and then 510. If we continue to fall, we'll be looking at basically not only 505 is going to be resistance, but also 500. So I think we're going to likely continue to shuffle on Meta, but there is going to be a risk of it dipping lower as time goes on. Just for a few more, I just want to say we also have GameStop. GameStop is trying to hold above its key EMA. It's looking pretty good right now. We need to hold above 29. If we do hold and close above this, I'll be looking for more upside. I think there's potential for it to get all the way up to the 30s. And we could go all the way up to about 37 if we do break out of 33. So I see potential for it to try to get up to those levels. It's showing some life. AMC is doing the same thing. If we break past 5.4, we'll be looking for a big push all the way up to the sixes. So AMC and GameStop are showing some life. The market is also showing a bit of life, but we're still range bound on SPY. We're still stuck between 544 and 540, also kind of shuffling in the 542s. So we'll see if we get some kind of rejection or not. Friday's going to be tomorrow. There's a lot of manipulation on Fridays typically. So far, the market's holding up, but we have to wait and see as we have a big gap to fill on SPY. If we were to lose 540, we came close to doing so today, but we ended up getting bought back up. So we will see. We'll see how we end up closing. Do we get a sell off at the end of the day or not? I'll be waiting for that. And also for Tesla, there's going to be a big move depending on what's announced during their shareholder meetings. So that's going to be very important as well. But with that being said, guys, thank you all so much for listening. I'll be back in a few hours after the market closes. So we'll see how things go. We're approaching the final hour of the day. So be careful, guys. Watch your levels, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you and peace out.